secondary region. Remember what I taught us about data redundancy.
As I see.
A secondary region, 6 copies of data. So these are some things you want to check out. Secondary region contains 6 copies. Only one person answered. Type it in the chat. We want to have a consensus. I'm giving you some cues. Okay, I'm going with B. Number 2, the admin team needs to know the requirements for storage account names. To what extent does a storage account name need to be unique? I mentioned this as well. Number 2, everybody. How many are we here? Let's see. Everybody must respond. Everybody. Everybody, give me an option. Okay. Number 3, what is the best storage account solution to support the requirements of the manufacturing division?
Mention this particularly. Manufacturing division.
So there must have been a story behind that. Let's check. Okay. Okay, the manufacturing division, let's see. The company wants the lowest storage solution. So start thinking as a solution architect. When you are providing solutions, you want, very important, pay attention now. When you are providing solutions for customers, you want to look for the quickest to roll out, the quickest solution to roll out, to orchestrate. Number 2, you want to look for the most cost efficient. Okay, quickest, most cost efficient, not the cheapest, but cost efficient, and less overhead management. Okay, that's number 3. So 3 things you want to look out for: the least expensive solution, the quickest to roll out, and the solution with the least management overhead. Because if you are create a solution whereby, oh, you need to connect this service, you need to configure another thing, you need to go to another environment to set up, it might be a cumbersome solution. There could be other easier ways. Maybe you need a third-party service to navigate through your configuration. So now, in this case, the manufacturing division has sensors that record time-relative data. Only the most recent data is useful. They want the lowest cost storage solution. And
that's A. That's A.
A, is that everybody's answer? Okay, let's check it out. Ooh la la. We got it. You are ready for the exam.
Guess what from you?
So number one, which storage solution replicates data to a secondary region? These two guys are locally redundant and zone redundant are within region one. So they are region specific. So locally redundant storage, this is data center. Okay, 3 copies in a data center. Zone redundant storage is 3 copies in a region. E. Okay, so this is for zone redundant. So it's still within the same region. Oh. So the difference is that locally redundant is restricted to a data center within that region. Zone redundant storage is, in this case, going to have 3 copies in 3 data centers. Okay, 1 copy in each of the data centers within that region. But geo-redundant, so geographic redundant storage, because the question is, they need a secondary region. So this is when we start talking about primary region and secondary region. Number 2, the admin team needs to know the requirements for storage accounts. Yeah, so whenever you create a storage account, make sure it's globally unique. This is less cumbersome to achieve when you are automating your configuration, your deployments. If you are using PowerShell, if you are using Terraform, you can create rules that will index the storage account name so that it will add some values to, even if the name already exists, you have some values in front of the name just to distinguish your storage account name. Now remember, always have a naming convention. So your storage account name should carry the name of the project it's supporting, the name of the application you are using it for, or service that is it's servicing. Just make sure that your storage account name has to be globally unique. Then the best storage account solution to support requirements for manufacturing division, what do they need? They only need most recent data. They want the lowest storage solution. Locally redundant storage is the least expensive. Why? It's just within a building. All your copies are within a building on a rack, maybe different racks within a building. So you are not talking about connecting data centers together, and there's low latency. Okay, and for geo-redundant, zone redundant, you are going to need to be able to associate connectivity from different locations. All right, let's check another one. Let's check one more before we go. What statement best describes Azure Blob Storage access tiers? Okay, we have not done this. So this is where we are going today. Don't worry, don't worry. This is where we are going today. All right, let's start. Let me stop this recording and start